coming up on this exciting episode of the Angry Geek Show.
Dingleberry!
Comic books stacked, games on the screen, talking about the heroes and the ones in between. From Gotham to the stars, through the multiverse they go. It's Nerd Life Loud on the Angry Geek Show. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. From cosplay queens to legends in town. Grab your popcorn, let your fandom flow. It's time to tune in to the Angry Geek Show. Superman debates, Boba Fett's jetpack. Marvel versus DC, no holding back. Con floor interviews, hot takes they throw. They'll nerd out with you on the Angry Geek Show. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. Legends, creators, the best all around. Grab your Funko, your lightsaber glow. It's time to tune in to the Angry Geek Show. From horror flicks to retro toys, geek girls, geek guys making all the noise. With passion and heart, they're running the game. If you're part of the tribe, you're part of the flame. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. Fandom united in every town. Con to con, let the good vibes grow. All hail the kingdom of the Angry Geek Show.
Hey, it's Monday night, and guess what? We're back home. We are back on StreamYard. Forget that other thing. This is the place to be, because you know what? To be the best, you need the best. You got to forget the rest, and that's what we tell our clients. That's what we tell our guests. That's what everybody says. So we're back on StreamYard, baby. It is so good to be home. Ain't that right, little
Yeet.
sister? Yeet. That's right. We had a busy weekend. Free Comic Book Day, Star Wars Day. Today's Revenge of the 5th. And I got a special surprise I want to show everybody. Now, this is just a prototype. Before we bring in our guest, Mario, he's going to talk about a fantastic book that, believe it or not, we just got the book tonight. Haven't read it yet. Saw some pages, saw some stills. Looks amazing. Another amazing book. We're going to get to the comments in a minute. But this is just a prototype. It's going to be available on our Patreon. I modeled this and I sent it to this person right here that I just poured my heart out a little bit. My family loves her. They adopted her to the family, and I try to talk them out of it because she is a lunatic. And I did I call you a lunatic the other day?
You did.
I did.
Mhm.
Yes, but they all love you. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Rose
What's
fell in
not
love
to
with you.
love?
I know, but Rose fell in love with you like the day she actually met you in person. She goes, she's so bubbly, so cute.
Thanks. Thank
I
you.
know. Anyway, I modeled this, sent it over to this young lady, and this is going to be available. So, are you guys ready?
Ready.
Look at this.
Oh.
Dingleberry t-shirts.
Sorry.
Yes. Now, this is right here. This is a prototype. Guys, can you bring up what the design looks like? This design on a t-shirt right here is going to be available on our Patreon. And so we'll be taking orders, that design. She is the little boy. Oh, okay. Come on now. Get a room. Get a room. Dude, Rose even noticed this. I tell you what. She was in the Geek Lair. We're supposed to be working. Your name got brought up. You could have seen it that was brighter than the Northern Lights. And I'm sorry for embarrassing you there, little sister, but I had to because you lit up immensely. Big time. And even Rose noticed it. She goes, "My God." I'm like, "I know. Dude, look at the smile on your face. I love it. Love you to death. Love you to death. I love. Okay, yeah, we'll get to the comments in a minute. We got Mario in the back. We got to bring him out soon. All right, before we do, Pam is in the house. Pam, love the horns. Thank you. I spent the weekend.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Hold it. Now, Pam's a married woman. We all know I love Rose. I spent the day with Pam on Saturday, and I got to say, Free Comic Book Day was amazing because of this lady. I got 2 hugs and a kiss from Pam. Only because I left the store. She wanted to make sure I was getting home safe. We all know Pam is the wife of one of our sponsors, Eric Yako at Alternate Universe LLC. Pam is just an amazing woman.
Yay.
You want some good stuff. She has stuff for sale. Make sure you contact Pam. You can get jewelry and all this cool stuff. But as you guys know, I did make it home. Ben Hellman says awesome. And Ben was there. Dingleberry's coming in. All right. My God, I'm so behind in these comments here. All right. So anyway, very quickly, Free Comic Book Day was a success. I got a stack of comics from Eric and Pam. What did you do this weekend? We got to bring Mario in because he just left his chair. Mario, you got to get back here. What did you do this weekend? What did you, before we bring Mario in? What? Sophia plush looks like a morpher. No, it's Darth Vader, Ben. Okay, what did you do this weekend really quick? I saw 2 movies. I saw the Thunderbolts and I saw The Sinners. Really quick, what did you do this weekend?
So Saturday I went to CT Horror Fest and met the cast of Terrifier. And then yesterday I went to see AC/DC in concert with the Pretty Reckless. That was the opener.
Yes, that's a girl from The Grinch, right?
Yep, Cindy Lou Who.
Yes, and AC/DC was awesome.
Oh my God. I'd like to talk about it later because I don't want to have the guests waiting.
Yeah, we have to get Mario on.
Yes.
But tell me, what did they play our song?
They did play the song.
They played our song and I missed it. All right, so
on the track.
All right, so now we're gonna bring. Oh my God! Did you buy me one? No, you didn't. And I would have been mad at you if it did, because we'll get it.
I tried to buy you stuff, and you're like, yeah.
I know. I don't like you buying me stuff. All right, so we're gonna bring in our guest right now. I have a lot of questions about this book.
Yes.
God Tier. Now, bring up the media for it. Now, it is God Tier, and the God of Monsters is the main villain in this book. We're going to bring in the writer, Mr. Mario Long. Mario, how are you? We were expecting you a little earlier so we can tell you what was going on, but you were you were late. You were probably napping or something.
Technically, on time. You came right on time.
Right on time. So I'm on Tokyo time. Sorry.
Oh, you're in Tokyo? Really?
Yeah, I'm in Tokyo.
Oh, snap.
Melissa didn't tell me that. If I knew that. Now, we have fans out in Tokyo. We do air through Pod TV in Tokyo. So,
okay.
Yeah, I would have brought up Angry Geeks in Tokyo. I do have us written in Tokyo. I would have did that for you. Melissa
maybe next time.
Yeah,
maybe I'll come back for volume 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about this. Melissa, we just got the PDF tonight. So
we didn't get a chance.
We didn't get a chance to read 185 pages. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's thick with 2 C's. Thick with 2 C's.
Yes. Yeah. My God.
And that's just volume 1. There's a volume 2 coming 2 months from now. So
Okay.
And then a volume 3 and hopefully a volume 4.
Oh snap. That would be good.
All right, and Mango, no, I do not just leave them. It got stolen by Jar Jar out of my pocket.
It fell out your pocket.
I don't think so. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's talk about this. It's God's. It's all. In the description of the book.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You describe it as many different genres mixed together, with the gods walking on Earth battling, and you have the God of Monsters, who is the main bad guy. Where did all this come from? You wrote it. What made you? inspired this idea of a god of monsters and all this violence? Where did it come from?
Well, I'm not really a violent person, so I'll put that out there. I'm more of a pacifist, so it's not like I'm sitting here having dreams of hurting people. But to answer your question, this idea came about during the pandemic. I've been in Japan now quite a long time, coming up on almost 20 years, and I experienced the pandemic through my computer. Basically while in quarantine or in isolation. And so I was watching a lot of the world appear to just burn down, between 2021. And obviously there was a lot of civil unrest. There was things happening in Hong Kong and the US and Europe. And so I just thought, what if there was one person that could take a moment like that and influence it to his or her worst desires? And that's how the idea of Typhon, the god of monsters, kind of came out, and the basic starting point, the catalyst for this story.
Okay, so how did it now being in Japan, it probably I'm going to say that's what influenced the style of the book, which is just freaking amazing. It's beautiful, black and white. Now, does it read like a manga? Does it read back to front? I did not open the PDF yet. It doesn't.
It doesn't. So it reads like a traditional US or Western graphic novel. So you read it from left to right. Okay. And there will be a digital version as well that Mad Cave is going to publish. So yeah, to answer your question, it reads like a traditional graphic novel, but it's obviously got some manga influences in the art style.
Awesome.
Okay, why did you choose to go that route and not go manga?
Yeah, I mean that's actually a great question. I think it was more of an wanting the book to be accessible to a larger audience. Obviously now the market has matured where people can read manga from right to left. We have another series that we're actually working on now that'll be published by Mad Cave next year. That will be read from right to left. But this one we thought, to make it a bit more appealing to the general audience, we'd make it very, very much like a traditional Western graphic novel. And because it's about Greek mythology too, I thought it would make sense to have it a little bit kind of on the fence between East and West.
All right, Sophia, you have a question?
Uh,
Well, I thought you did.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I thought I cut you off earlier. Other influences that brought you into this, you just mentioned Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
How many other influences besides your Greek mythology did you put on page for this? And then I want to talk about
Yeah, well, maybe I can just do a little bit about my background, right? I mean, I grew up. I consider myself an '80s baby. I grew up watching a lot of fantasy and sci-fi. So things like Clash of the Titans. There's just tons of things I could list off that really influenced me. So a lot of that is in there. In kind of the DNA of what we're doing. And I'm also a fan of mythology, and not just Greek mythology, but obviously in Japan I've studied Japanese mythology, Egyptian mythology, and I found that a lot of these myths kind of have similar sounding stories. A lot of these legendary heroes kind of are in different countries that have no connection to each other, and so that was another idea of what if all these stories did have one focal point, and one frame of reference that was interpreted throughout different cultures, throughout different generations. And so I made very clear to stay away from anything that's modern. There's no, what I would consider modern religions. But I think that ancient religions, anything that's over, pre the modern era is kind of fair game. So there might be some stuff that gets mixed in from like maybe Egyptian mythology or some other cultures, but for the most part, it's inspired by Greek mythology.
Wow. Okay.
That's cool.
You majored in Greek mythology? Did you major in Greek mythology?
No, not at all. And I gotta be very careful. I don't want to go into the deep woods of Greek mythology because obviously there's a lot there that there's people way more qualified than I am, I think, that can dig into the subject matter. But I will say that I've researched it well, and I think a lot of these stories, even though the setting is different, the core elements of the story ring true to the the original or I should say the classic Greek myths, because there is no one story for any of these, right? There's so many different interpretations, even in the ancient era of like Zeus and Poseidon and Medusa. There's always different types of variables, but I think this story is true to the core of most of those original, myths made by the poets, thousands of years ago.
Great. All right, we got some comments coming in. Void from Denmark actually says, is it multiple religions or just one specifically? And I think you kind of sort of already answered that.
Yeah.
But
No, yeah. So there is kind of an opening to the book that I think may confuse readers a bit, because the book starts off in like ancient Greece, and it says now, right? So you think, oh, okay, this story takes place, when everyone's wearing togas. And then it kind of has like a flash forward or a flashback to the modern era, and it says in the past. And so, readers can read into that, I guess, however they want. But there is kind of I guess you can call it like a plot device. If you watch Citizen Kane, for example, with Rosebud, there is a bit of a time skip here and there. But for the most part, these stories are based in Greek mythology. But as you get into it, you'll see that our interpretation of Greek mythology may have some other roots that are a bit deeper than that. So I don't want to spoil, because it's one of those things at the very end where you go, oh, okay. And it's either like Usual Suspects, Kaiser Soze, or again, Citizen Kane, what is Rosebud kind of moment. And hopefully people stick with the series to the end to see what that framing device really is.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Ben says that manga has a huge audience everywhere. It's the eyes.
I feel like it's becoming more popular, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I'm a huge fan of actually Western comics, right? I've been reading, Marvel, DC, Image, and some of the other publishing books for, since the 80s, right? And it's amazing to see how even Western books now, the style, if you pick up a modern Superman book or a new X-Men, especially, the artist for what is it, Unlimited X-Men or Ultimate? I think Ultimate X-Men, right? Peach Momoko, right? Japanese, right? So I think you'll see that the influence of manga, not just in manga itself, obviously, but in Western comics, you can tell now that there's been a huge influence of anime and Japanese art style in the Western culture now.
Well, even my shirt, I mean, I'm wearing Silver Surfer, and it's very, very anime style. It's not your classic Kirby. It's not your classic Ditko or Ron Lim. This is very. And when I saw the design, I'm like, dude, I got to get that because it's very, very anime-ish. Ben comes back with another question. Did Tokusatsu? I murder.
Tokusatsu, I think. Tokusatsu.
Have any influence?
Tokusatsu, as in like the not the Rangers, the
I believe Ben is a huge. We know our audience.
Okay, so it's yeah.
Yeah.
So the answer is no, not that I know of. I mean, there's probably lots of things that are subconscious. If it's Tokusatsu like the Power Rangers type genre, I'm not sure if that's what they're referring to.
Ben. We know our audience. We smell our own. Ben is a huge Power
Rangers fan.
Okay. I would. So I don't want to enrage, the fandom here, but I didn't watch a lot of Power Rangers, in the 90s. I was, obviously here in Japan, it's still a thing that's raging and it's going to go on forever. There are some characters actually in God Tier that you could maybe perceive that way. The gods themselves, it's a different interpretation of them. So they're not walking around in togas. There's different levels of the gods as well, which is why it's called God Tier. So there's demigods, there's monsters, there's what we call omega level gods, which are like your Hermes, your Ares, your Athena, and then there's like your alpha level gods, which are like your Zeus, your Poseidon, your Hera, Hades, and then you have Titans. And the Titans actually have suits that might be interpreted as kind of like a tokusatsu kind of thing because they look like they're in spacesuits, but they're also giants. They're like the size of like skyscrapers. So
It's like
maybe
kaiju.
there's a bit of that. Yeah. So maybe there's a bit of that in there. But it's probably more of a subconscious thing than anything conscious.
One of my biggest questions that I'd like to ask is where the name of each character that the writer and creator come up with. How difficult was it for you to name each of the gods? Not central characters, not the brother and sister that are the central characters of the book, but the actual central character, but the gods themselves. How difficult was it for you to create each god's identity, and what each god represents, and then their actual name? How difficult was it, or how easy was it for you to say, okay, this would be the god of rain, this is the god of love, this is the god of war, and come up with a name that already hasn't been used or close to that name? How was that a difficult process? Was it not a difficult process? How did you become a god yourself for this universe? Pardon the pun. How did you come up with that?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, that's a great question, actually. And it's one that no one's actually asked before. But what I would say is two parts. One, the easy thing is I didn't rename the gods. I didn't reinvent the wheel, so to speak. You know, Zeus is Zeus, Poseidon is Poseidon, Athena is Athena. But a lot of them are just jerks. You know, like they really look at our world as a place to play. You know, and they all have different motivations in how they use this world. But some of them, you know, Athena and Ares, the gods of war, use Earth as a playground. Like we would, you know, log into Fortnite, right? For them, it's just this is a place where they can play. Zeus is going to use this as kind of like a place to do some, you know, some side quests. Put it that way, you know, with hookups and stuff. Every god has their reason. You know, Demeter looks at this world, you know, the goddess of like agriculture and climate and things. Like she looks at this as a way to kind of grow something beautiful. So to answer the question, you know, the gods are as they are in the original myths, but they all have a different spin to them. For example, Dionysus, the god of wine, shows up, and you get a very clear impression of his personality and how little he really cares about humanity. And he's also kind of drunk at the time too when he shows up. So you know, he's a guy that just treats Earth as a place to party. He just comes here for a good time, and then he, you know, pops back up to Olympus. But for the actual other characters that I made, again, I think it's more of a subliminal process. It could be people that I knew as a child, or one of the characters was named after this guy that I would see roaming around my neighborhood as a kid. A guy named Jellyman, you know, and some of the other ones might have some influence from other stories. But you know, for the most part, I tried to stay true to the original myths and give it a new spin in the modern era.
All right. Cool. Before we get to that comment, we have one. Sophia, can you bring up Void's comment underneath, guys?
Okay.
And we got pre-order volume 1 and 2 trade paperback.
Yeah.
There you go. So he's going to be sending it to some people that he knows, or a person from.
Wow.
Yes. Oh.
They don't.
He's sending it to somebody he knows that will send it to Denmark. And yes, but you got 2 pre-orders right here on the Angry Geek Show.
Yay.
Awesome. Hey, I truly appreciate that. Truly appreciate that. You know, it's been such a great adventure to build my company here in Japan and to make these original stories. But I need support, so that you know, even 1 or 2 pre-orders makes a huge difference, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
That's what the Angry Geeks is all about. Our audience is here to support creators like you. And that's why we bring you guys on. All right, so let's get to Guy's comment. Sophia, do you want to read it?
What are some of the most surprising reactions you've received from readers so far?
Yeah, that's a great question. So some of the readers that have, you know, preview copies that have looked at it, they really appreciate that it tells kind of new takes on traditional stories. So like, for example, Medusa. if we've all seen Medusa, in Clash of the Titans or other stories, but she's a very like kind of like one-dimensional cookie cutter like mini boss type villain, right? She's already a monster, and she's got snakes for hair and half snake, and our version of Medusa is very, very different, but she starts off as a human. And so we tell the story of like kind of why she changed into the way she
Ooh.
changed, and
Okay.
then what her motivation is for like really hating the gods. And I think that stays true to the original myth of Medusa, but I've never seen that. And again, there's tons of maybe in Hercules, the TV show, or like Jackson, what's his name?
Percy Jackson.
Peter Percy Jackson. Yeah, I almost said Jesse
You're
Jackson.
gonna
is
say
like-
Peter Jackson.
I was gonna say Peter Jackson or Jesse Jackson or Michael Jackson. I don't know. So, which gives me a pretty good idea for a spin. Okay, anyway. But yeah, but I think people appreciate it that we tell those stories in a way that I don't think has been done in the modern era. Minotaur for example, is always like this raging bull character, but in this story we start off with him as a human and we kind of show how and why he changed. And so I think people are a bit kind of surprised that we don't have, like you mentioned, Typhon as the bad guy, but I don't think the story has a bad guy. There's definitely a protagonist, which is his family, Pablo, and his sister Anna. But the antagonist obviously is Typhon and these other characters. But hopefully you can see some merit in why they're doing what they're doing. You might not agree with them, but hopefully they're sympathetic villains.
Wow, because in the description that
Mhm.
Melissa, our agent, what she sent over to us, it said the villainous type. I was like, oh, okay. And like I said, now
Okay.
total disclaimer: Sophia and I, we did not get a chance to read the book.
Sure.
Volume 1, 138 pages. We just got it tonight, right before we went on air. So there's no way that we could have read the book. A PDF for us.
Yeah.
And I just opened it up and I'm like, holy cow. And I told Sophia, it's 138 pages. We ain't reading it. Just go. And
We'll read it later
we'll
afterwards.
read it later.
Oh.
But as
Well, I appreciate you not pretending. I appreciate you not reading the first and the last page. So
no way. No, we do not do that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, it's an excuse for us to have you back on.
I'm excited to read it too.
Yeah,
awesome.
It is 100% an excuse to have
And then
you back
you're
on.
not going to mess up and say a spoiler either.
No,
Yeah.
never. I would never do that. Never. No, it's just
Yeah.
an excuse to have us back on. That way we can get volume 2 and read volume 2.
Yeah,
On top
Awesome.
of that.
I would
Yes.
truly appreciate that.
Yes.
Truly appreciate that.
Now,
Definitely.
Boyd comes in with a comment, and Boyd says that he loves Greek mythology. Typhoon sounds kind of obscure, so a story as him as a main bad guy is definitely a big hell yeah to me.
Mm.
So, as a god of monsters, let's elaborate a little bit on that, because in the description that we got, God of Monsters, I was kind of like, hell yeah, myself. That is something we never heard of before. We never heard a term of, okay, this cat is the god to all monsters. I never knew of a god to all monsters. Let's elaborate. Why did you choose to name something or to have a god of all monsters?
Yeah. So again, I'm not reinventing the wheel, as I'm not necessarily making up new characters. There is a Typhon. There is a typhoon in Greek mythology, and he's just this huge, monstrous kind of nightmare type of character. Our Typhon is very different. You never see his real face initially. He's in a kind of a gas mask, and he has these canisters that are kind of across his chest, and these canisters basically, there he is in the back, kind of telling you to be quiet or keep a secret. He does have a very big secret that hopefully people will stick with the series to see. But basically, he has the ability to create monsters. He has the ability with these canisters, this gas that's in this canister. If you inhale it, it brings out the worst qualities of you. So if you're someone who's impulsive and aggressive and violent, you may change into a minotaur. if you're someone who's maybe a bit vain and you want people to look at you and maybe you want people to kind of sexualize you or maybe you change into a Medusa, so whatever's in you, it
I
takes
don't
it and
want
it
snakes for
amplifies it.
hair. Maybe that's why I wear hats all the time, Sophia. I don't know. Not saying that I'm vain or anything, but Void comes in. He goes, "Oh, Guy first. Guy, what's the most important lesson you want readers to learn from God Tier Volume 1?"
Wow,
question.
I mean that's an excellent question.
Yes.
I think that you could read God Tier on a couple different levels. I think you could read it on the surface as just read it as a story of this family trying to, run from point A to point B in the middle of a war, between rioters and police and gods and monsters. And that alone maybe is exciting. Maybe it's like watching an episode of Transformers or something. But I think there's also a deeper level where you look at the themes of what I'm saying about society and religion and a number of things. So there's more than one thing that I want readers to take from it, but if anything, it's that there's no black or white. Things are gray. Things have depth to them, and then maybe someone that you think is a villain maybe is not necessarily a bad person. They're just they're just a protagonist. So I try to write the monsters in the story with a bit of humanity because they started off as humans, right? And so I hope people look at these characters as more of like tragic, characters or heroes than cookie cutter mini boss villains.
I like that.
Wow. Hey, it's half
That's
past.
deep.
It is. It's very deep. It's half past the hour. That means it's time to pay some bills. So if you're ready,
Turn it up!
It's now time for Quiz with Quinzel. That was interesting.
hey, Quiz with Quinzel is brought to us by CH Square Collectibles at 121 Jewett City. And we all know what Quiz Quinzel is. I can't find the soundbite. Where is the soundbite? Oh my God! Yes,
I don't know.
Yes, the
I can make one for you.
Please go ahead. There it is. Anyway,
Wait, I want to hear.
No.
Brought to you by CH Square Collectibles, 121 Jewett City in the Slater Hill Mall.
there you go.
There you go. I was expecting like a pew pew or something.
Sophia, why don't you tell everyone what Quiz with Quinzel is?
So I ask a question and you have to guess correctly.
Oh my God. Don't embarrass us.
Since it's Revenge of the Fifth, my brain is farting. I'm going with a Star Wars themed question today. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what species is Jar Jar Binks?
Oh my God, come on. You're lucky-
Is this a question for the chat or for me?
For
for
everybody.
everyone? For everyone.
Okay.
So you are the guest, so you get to go first.
Okay, can I answer now?
Yes.
He's Gungan.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was gonna say. My God, Sophia.
Of course.
You always
Yeah, come on.
no.
That one's for Jar Jar Jeremy.
I know it's for Jar Jar Jeremy, and like he wouldn't know that his name is literally
I
Jar
know.
Jar.
I
Like,
was just,
Jar Jar is one of our cast members. Jar Jar is one of our cast members. So it's like,
If you mess with the dingle, you'll get the berry.
hey, don't pull the sound bar on me, because you just every week you embarrass us with the easiest questions. My God. And- I don't know, Mario. I apologize. She does this every week.
Could I tell a cool Star Wars story? Just very briefly.
Absolutely, please, because you have to take her out of. Yes, please. This is embarrassing.
So we had Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo just a few weeks ago,
Really?
and oh wow, it was awesome, absolutely awesome.
imagine.
I have photos of me in pajamas, holding imperial walkers and I've been a Star Wars fan since I was probably in
You
Underoos.
talking about like AT-ATs or ATSTs?
Yeah, both. I had that as a kid
Look.
back in the day.
Look at my tattoo.
Oh, nice. Wow,
I had
that's
to show you.
legit. That
My
is legit.
tattoos are
Yeah.
more my tattoos are more tougher and more meaner than hers. I'm
yeah?
just saying.
Wow.
Yes.
So
They are.
we're at Star Wars Celebration. I'm in the one of the hotel lobbies. I look up and it's like Tamura Morrison. It's like, Boba Fett, Jango Fett. He's hanging
Oh
out.
my
Ended
god.
up ended up talking to him, meeting his family, hanging out, having a great time. Amazing people. Had a chance to hang out with Doug Chang, one of the executive vice presidents of Lucasfilm, the
Oh
guy
my
who
god.
designed a lot of the the Naboo starfighter, the droids in episodes 1 and 2, and
Wow.
Mandalorian, all these things. What an amazing experience. Anybody who's never been to Star Wars Celebration, a person like me who's been a lifetime fan, I've never been. I'm a lifetime fan now. I'll be there. The next one's in California, so if you're there, be there or be square. But what a time! What an amazing time!
I want to go. I want to go. Let's go, Lewis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could go. We could go. We'll write it off as a business expense. We should go.
Yes.
And one last thing, if I could just plug, one of my partner studios here in Japan is an animation studio called Day Art Stagio. It's one of the first American-owned anime studios in Japan. They have an episode of Star Wars Vision Season 2 called The Pit. So if you get a chance, check that out. That was made here in Japan by an American-owned anime studio. So check it out. Really cool.
Really?
Amazing. Yes.
Oh, you're gonna and when we end the show, my friend, you're gonna be able to pimp out anything you want. Don't you worry about it. And my tattoos are tougher than
Oh, yeah.
Sophia's. Okay.
I mean, nothing's stronger than family. I can agree.
there you go.
Mhm.
So Simba and Stitch, nothing
Nice.
tougher there.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Nothing at all. So, if it weren't for God Tier,
Mhm.
what would be the project we would be talking about tonight?
Meaning other projects that I have kind of in the queue, or what do you mean?
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't this book, what book did you want to produce? What book do you want to produce that you have? Or what project do you want to talk about that's not God Tier?
Well, okay, that's a great question. So I have another IP. So I call them IPs, right? Because what I do is we make an original story and then we tell that in either manga format. We have games as well. We're a game production studio, tabletop games.
Okay.
And then with I mentioned our partner animation studio. The goal is to get these made into a long form animation that you'll see on like a Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Disney, right? So hopefully, if we can build enough of a community, we can launch this into multiple different types of media. So that's all to say that I do have another IP that we haven't released yet, but it's a pirate fantasy type theme story.
Pirates. You're talking
yeah,
guys
yeah.
language now.
Yeah. And that was actually the first thing that I made with my company. So my son and I together, we basically made this board game, which actually I have a copy of it right here. And so maybe I shouldn't show this because we haven't released it yet, but this is
Can I have
this is
one?
I'll tell you what. Yes. I'll tell you what.
I'm joking. I am
Buy
joking.
it. Buy it from him.
Yes, I will
that's
buy
all
it.
right.
No, I will
No.
buy it. I will not. Before we go to the next question, I have to get this out of the way because it happens every week. Sophia, I want you to read it because I'm refusing to read these questions week after week after week.
Okay. Guy says, so I have to ask, when is Sophia going to appear in God Tier or Future Story or Tabletop Game?
I can answer that.
Never.
No, I'll tell you what. I know a guy who knows a guy. I think we can get you in there. I think we can get you
Oh my
in.
God!
Really?
Please
Oh
no.
my
You know how many books he's going to be in so far. I knew
that'd be
gaming.
awesome.
I knew gaming was going to be involved somehow because of your verbiage in prior questions by side quest, side boss, this,
And Fortnite.
that, and the other thing, and Fortnite. So I
Yes.
knew that gaming somehow was going to be in there. Are you a gamer, board gamer, or an actual gamer? Yes.
Like a console, you mean?
Yeah, console.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's an excellent question because I do consider myself a gamer. I not to date myself, but I had an Atari 2600 back in the day.
Oh, did
You
we
guys know
all?
about that?
Yeah, yes. Dude.
Dude. Yeah.
Well, I am an 80s baby as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah.
I've had every generation of the major consoles for a long time. I'm more of a console gamer. I'm not necessarily a PC gamer. I do like strategy games. I love like games like XCOM. I can't really hop into games like Fortnite or Call of Duty anymore. It's a bit too intense for me.
There's a lot going on in that game.
Yeah. But I do consider myself a gamer, but I'm actually not a big tabletop gamer. I've played the classic games like Risk and Monopoly and Life and those things, but I haven't played a lot of role-playing games and whatnot. And I think that helps me to make original game mechanics. So I have two games that I've made. There's a God tier card game, which kind of looks. You probably can't see it well here, but I do have
we are going to see it. Hold on, pull it back up.
Well,
There
it's
you
not
go.
it's not released yet, but let's
Okay.
see if I can show a little bit of it. Let me see if I have some characters here. So, and actually, coincidentally, the character that I have, his name is Phoenix.
Ooh.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. That is so cool
Yeah.
looking.
So this card game hopefully will be out at the same time as Volume 3 next year. But the whole point in mentioning it though is that it has original game mechanics. As far as I know, it's not based off of like a Magic the Gathering or a Yu-Gi-Oh or a Pokemon because I've never played those games honestly. So the idea is that because I've never played those games, I think it gives me ability to think outside the box, no pun intended. But Golden Age of Pirates, the other game that I mentioned, it hasn't been released yet. It has completely original mechanics that I don't think any other game has. So I think because I understand how to play a game and what makes a game fun, it gives me the ability to make a game. But because I'm not deeply immersed in any of these other, like legacy titles, I don't even know how those games would be played to copy them if I wanted to. So it gives me a lot of freedom, a lot of creative freedom to make something new.
That is amazing. Hey, it is time to pay another bill. So hold on one second. Hey, question of the week, as always, is brought to us by Alternate Universe LLC, Milford and New Haven. You know what? Eric is such a cool cat. If you can't make it to Milford, you can't make it to New Haven, and you're looking for a special book, if you're looking for a special Mother's Day's coming up. Your mom collects comic books. You want to get her a slab book and you don't know which one to get. He has grab bags, $40, and you can get a slab book. You don't even know it's a grab bag. It'll be just like Christmas morning. You get it, $40. He'll mail it to you flat. It's slab. He'll mail it to you. Make sure it's packed nice. Mom will open it up. It's guaranteed to be a 9-point something slab book from CBCS. I had 2 unboxings over the weekend. We recorded it, okay? And these books were top notch, okay? And just amazing. So contact Eric. Facebook, Instagram, message him. He is a mod on the Angry Geeks page. Contact him there, okay? Just put at Eric. Tell him you want to get a pull list, and he'll mail them to Tokyo. He will. He'll do that. If you don't have a pull list in Tokyo, Mario, if you don't have a LCS in Tokyo, he will send them to you, okay? And better yet, my son works for the post office. He'll go to Tokyo and drop them off, okay? So anyway, first question of the week. Mario, you're the guest, so you're going to go first before we can bring him to the chat. First question. Black tie or formal? Black tie or formal?
Black tie, I'm assuming meaning tuxedo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then formal being anything above casual. I love to wear suits. I wear suits probably when I go to the park. Maybe like I love to wear suits. So I'm gonna say formal. Say formal.
All
Yeah,
right.
I love a nice crisp necktie and a nice like custom fitted suit.
Sophia,
Hmm?
black tie or formal?
Formal.
Formal.
I don't have
Oh, I
anything
know, sister.
formal.
You're in the same boat as me. This
I'm
is
like,
as formal. When I go formal, I just wear more bling.
does formal mean like a dress?
That kind of, sort of. But you're in the same boat as me. When I go out, it's like bedazzled everywhere. So
You're more fancy than me.
Mm.
that is 100% true.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
mean, I got more.
Pizzazz.
I do. I mean, I'm like Elvis when we go out.
Guy.
No lie. No lie. What does Guy say? Formal clothes, gross. All right, so you're more black tie. Guy is more black tie. Okay. Ben Hellman says formal. Boyd comes up and says, good question. And yeah, and no, me, if you look, the people that watch the show know how I dress, and it's like a mixture of Macho Man Randy Savage and Elvis. So yeah. All right. Mario's like, what? Talk to
Well,
Melissa.
actually, do you have a good Macho Man impersonation? Do you have a good oh yeah?
No, brother. I don't know. I don't know if I do or do not. You know, I'm the Tower of Power. I'm too sweet to be sour. I don't know. I'm funky like a monkey. But I soared with the eagles. I slithered with the snakes. I've been everywhere in between. But I am your friend. But yeah, don't degrade the champion at any time. No. Yeah, dig it. Next question, please. You know, my therapist said I was OCD. One cool dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right.
Well, the cream always rises to the top, and that was at the top of the Macho Man impersonations I've heard today. So thank you.
Oh, you heard? You really? Yeah. Well, thank you very much, brother. I really appreciate that. Yeah. When Sophie and I were on Nerd Wars on 93.9 The River, which is our radio station that we're on once a month. Yeah. I had a Macho Man talk off with Nighttime Will. Nighttime Will, I'm coming for you, brother. Yeah. So, yeah, like it or not, love it or leave it. I'm the best thing that's going today. Yeah. So you may not like it, but accept it. I'm coming for you, Nighttime Will. Yeah. I got a little video that, yeah, I'm coming for you. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Take it. Yeah. Next question, please. Can you sing? Mario, can you sing?
I'm going to say that I tend to sing songs that are in a higher pitch than I should be singing them. So like, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you've ever heard Earth, Wind, and Fire, like Fantasy, November.
I'm from the 70s, baby. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so yeah. Okay.
Do you remember? And it goes way higher than I should be, so it sounds horrible. So the songs I like to sing are not the songs that I probably should be singing. Maybe I should be singing like a Barry White.
Between my kids, my wife, and Sophia, and my brother Jar Jar, they do not let me or like me to drive. Sophia, when we're in the car, now she can tolerate my playlist because she listens to 75% of the same music, maybe. But she knows when Elvis comes on, what happens.
You start singing.
That's right. Oh, yeah. She records me singing Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my wife's ringtone.
Aw.
Yeah, all right.
You like blue suede shoes.
Can't help
Help
falling
falling in love
with
you. It's a very, very awkward song to sing in a karaoke bar with just one other guy, by the way. Just,
It was a very awkward song singing on a live stream with the man you just met.
I'm gonna clip that. Mango, can you clip that for me? Clip that for me.
Sophia, can you sing?
I like to sing. Doesn't mean I sing well. I don't know, but I like singing karaoke at Comic-Con. For anyone that knows, my go-to now is DuckTales.
oh,
We have that.
can you sing the opening theme to DuckTales?
I yes, I can.
Not to put you on the spot.
Boogie in the butt.
He's laughing. Wait, Mario is laughing. Do you know the classic Boogie in the Butt? You're from the 80s.
Boogie in the Butt.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Who?
Oh,
Boogie-
geez. I can't remember who Boogie in the Butt was from. Wait a second.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
There's that
Yeah.
hint.
Yeah. Oh, wait, so it's a party all the time, Eddie Murphy?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow. I'm more of a party all the time kind of. I love that song.
That is a good
Okay.
song.
My girl
right.
likes to party all the time, but Boogie in the
Yes,
Butt, that's
but
one in
Boogie
the
Butt was
playlist
his
today.
first song. Was his first song. And I believe
Wow.
Sophia has a video of me singing it.
I do. And a clip on Fortnite of you singing it and me
Wow.
going, "What are you singing?" Bumblebee
Anyway,
in the butt. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Now, I don't think of myself as a singer, but I do like to sing when Elvis comes on. So, yes. I do.
Ben says he thought it was disturbed.
What?
Disturbed. I mean, it is disturbing. I'll say that.
Oh my God. Mario, so let's get to know you a little bit. What's the biggest prank that you ever pulled on a friend or family member that you thought was absolutely hilarious?
Oh, wow. I have one that's a bit weird. So I have it's so I this especially after you mentioned Eddie Murphy. So just give me 30 seconds to tell this story. So I'm a college
you
student.
got all that, dude. My friend, my brother, you got 10 minutes left.
All
You
right,
take all the
all
time
right.
you want.
I'm a college student in Japan when I first came here, and I'm living in an apartment with other college students, other study abroad students, right? And so we all are on the same floor, but in different apartments. And there's a walkway to the elevator, and then there's a window that looks directly into each apartment's like kitchen, living room, right? Japanese apartments are very small, so you could reach out of your bed and grab your, open your refrigerator. So I put on a, for some reason I had this ski mask that I got at some dollar store or something. And I put on the ski mask, but I take off my glasses, right, to put on the ski mask. So I can't see, I'm almost blind. And so I go to my next door neighbor, or a friend of mine whose name happens to be Richard Pryor. And his name is Richard Pryor. So Richard, if you're watching this, I love you, brother, but it's Richard Pryor. So I go next door to Richard Pryor's apartment, and I'm looking in the window, standing outside his apartment, looking in a ski mask, and I only can see shapes and colors, right? Because I have very bad eyesight. So Richard comes out of, I guess, the bathroom or the shower, and he's just staring at me, and I'm staring at him for maybe like 30 seconds, and then eventually I slowly kind of walk away. And then the next day I see him outside and he goes, "Hey man, why were you staring at me naked?"
Oh.
I didn't realize he came out the shower. And I just saw shapes and colors. I didn't know. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, brother." But yeah, so that's probably the worst prank I pulled, because it wasn't scary, it was just creepy.
So he was probably like, "What the hell is he doing?" All right, Guy wants to know. Guy wants, and Mango is laughing. Guy wants to know, what's your secret talent that no one knows about except for maybe your pet? Wow.
Oh, wow. My secret talent is I'm actually quite good at doing Jedi mind tricks.
Oh.
Whoa, do tell.
Jedi mind tricks. So yeah, I won't mention the company name because they're still around. But as an example, I wanted to get a job at this company, and they're a pretty well known company in Asia. They do events. I'll just put it like that. And so I went. But I have no connections. I have no connections at any executive level in this company. And so I just walked up to like the merchandise booth at an event that this company had. And it's just like some part-time staff. And I go, "Hey," and I mention the president's name. And I just go, "Hey, is this president here?" And they're like, yeah, of course, because it's their event. And I go, hey, can you go get them for me? And they're like, yeah, I'll go get them for you. And so they went and they got the president of the company, who comes out, and we exchanged business cards and things like that. Fast forward a few months later, I'm working at that company.
Oh wow.
But all of that happened.
The interns are working for you.
Yeah, so that's just one example. But I think if you just say anything with confidence, and you believe in yourself, and you can probably get a lot further in life than if you doubt that you could talk to a certain person or access something. So I'm not saying to to break and enter in anybody's house or company, but you might be surprised if you just knock on the door and say, hey, I'm supposed to be here, where's the person to let me in? 9 times out of 10, you actually can probably walk in the front door, and
what are you, a vampire? You got to knock on the door to, hey,
yeah, you got to. I'm not suggesting to sneak into any place. You got to be welcomed.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times if you just ask to talk to the top person, a lot of times you can reach that person without having to go through a lot of gatekeepers or red tape and things like that. So the answer to any question that you don't ask is no. So why not at least try? And you might get a yes.
Exactly.
Go big, or stay home.
That is great advice. We are up for our hour. I want to thank Mario. This was an amazing episode. Dude, you are welcome back anytime that you want to come back. After we sign off, please hang out for a couple minutes. I want to do some stuff with you before we end the show. Please tell everyone where they can find you on social media. We do have a link for the book. Like I said, we already have 2 pre-orders. We're going to bring up that link one more time. As we bring up that link, Mario, tell everyone where they can find you if they have any questions. Now, one of our biggest things, and we didn't bring that up, is unfortunately, you live overseas. Thank you for pulling up that link, Sophia.
Nice.
A lot of our listeners, a lot of our watchers on Public Access TV, on Pod TV, they like their stuff autographed. You living way, way over there, it's going to be hard for them to get this autographed. If somehow they can do this, they're going to have to go to Star Wars Celebration in California next year and hook up with you to get these books autographed. But I want to autograph Golden Age Pirate. God says, how could they somehow? Is there any way? Is Mad Cave doing something with autograph copies?
Yeah. So first off, I really, really appreciate that. I just really appreciate that enthusiasm and that love. Thank you so much. So a couple things. One, the U.S. dollar, as of today's recording, is still relatively strong compared to Japanese yen. So you could take a trip to Japan. There's so many tourists right now. We just had Osaka Comic-Con last weekend. I was there. Awesome. So Tokyo Comic-Con is going to be in November, late November, early December. So hey, if you come to Tokyo, you hit me up. I guarantee you we will meet, and I'll show you around, and you'll have a good time.
Awesome.
So there's that. And right now it's not official, but I may be visiting San Diego Comic-Con in July.
Oh.
So if you are there, we can link up. And then I'll be planning a book tour in the second half of this year. So if you're in the Michigan, Chicago, New York area, Texas as well, maybe Dallas, Fort Worth.
Texas.
I love Austin. Texas. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'll be announcing a book tour soon, but all of that right now is kind of in the works. As far as my socials, my Instagram is surprisingly weak. Like compared to somebody else who's like really about the gram, like I'm almost embarrassed to share my Instagram because I'm not really on it. What I would suggest is if you go to madcavestudios.com, there is a God tier page that has a full description of the book, and then links to pre-order the book through Mad Cave. It's also on Crunchyroll. It's on Amazon. It'll be in bookstores, but please pre-order the book. It helps us to get as much momentum as possible. It's an amazing story, but we need time to get this story out so it can mature. It's not a book for anybody that needs like instant gratification and things blowing up immediately. There is some time for these things to kind of, to mature a bit. So I really hope that everyone gets on board for volume 1, volume 2, and hopefully you stay with us all the way through until we get to the end of the story, which I guarantee you ends with a bang. So yeah, check out madcavestudios.com, sakuraphoenix.com, and then we'll have some other socials that we're going to relaunch before San Diego Comic-Con.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Now we did have some things that people want to see you in Connecticut. They want to see you at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yeah.
So they
Would you
want
come
see
to
you.
America as a
Yeah.
guest if you were invited?
Well,
Yes, definitely. Just
Okay.
yeah, I'm more than happy to talk about any of that. Connecticut actually is a really cool place. I went there 2 years ago. I think it was Danbury. So I got peeps in that area. So yeah, maybe
Nice.
let me know if there's a convention. I'm an old school Comic-Con guy. I love going to Comic-Cons. I love meeting people. I love cosplaying. So yeah, any of those events that I'm invited to speak as a panelist or things like that, I'd be more than happy to think about. So thank you.
Yes.
perfect. All right, we'll do that. Sophia, please tell everyone where they can find you and us.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. You can find us on the same platforms, and you can find us on theangrygeekshow.com.
Yes, and thank you once again, Mario, for being on with us tonight. And God bless everyone.
Thank you so
One
much.
is
Thank you so
all.
much. You guys
And
are
hey,
so awesome.
we'll see. Thank you to hang out with us backstage. We're gonna see you guys next week, and stay tuned. Make sure you stop by the website, and our Patreon will be
Dingleberry.
launching soon. And yes, Dingleberry, yes. And make sure this weekend I will be streaming with Sophia and Jar Jar. You know what? Take care.